And you also know, if you've seen, oh, did I just? Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. For those of you that are new, my name is SJ with SJ Protective Styles. And for those of you that are returning, welcome back. I'm trying some new lashes, y'all. I think they look cute. I don't know. I'm trying something extra glam. All right. Well, without rambling, let's get right into this video. If you can't already tell by the title, this is my review, my 3-week review of the Egyptian twist style that I am currently wearing. I am going to take this hair out. As you can see here, the crochet is starting about a mile away from my edges, and it's just time to take it out, refresh, and do another style. Now, for the most part, I've been wearing it up in a ponytail. And if you've seen the install video, I promise you it's the same hair. I know it looks longer, but I recurled the hair last week and I used bigger flexi rods. You can look at the ends here, and if you compare it to the install video, the curls were a lot tighter. But this is the same hair. It's just that when you dip this hair in hot water, it stretches the hair. I'm going to pull it up for the filming of this video. And you also know, if you've seen, oh, did I just, y'all, really? Grab another one. All right, let's try this again. Let me do one final check in my other mirror, because this viewfinder is really small. That is a little bit better. So the first thing I rated this hair on was the overall look. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being I really love the look of this style on me, and 1 being scratch it, never do it again, I gave this hair a 7. I like it. I do. However, my personal preference, and again, everyone has their own preferences. I've said this many times before. My shoes may not fit your feet. I prefer the looser hair. Even though it's more maintenance, even though sometimes it costs more, I just personally prefer that look on me. The second thing I rated this hair on was the price. Now, I gave this hair on a rating of 1 to 10, with 10 being I'm getting the most value. I'm getting the most value out of the hair for the price that I'm paying for it. I rated this hair at a 9. So what I do for prices, I look at how much does it cost. I purchased this hair on Amazon. You get 3 packs in a bundle. I'll put the link below, but you get 3 packs, and if the price does fluctuate, I've seen it as low as $20, but as high as like $28. So $23 for 3 packs. I only used 2, but I'm still going to count the full price, $23. This is my 3rd week. So if you divide the 23 out, it comes to about $7.60 a week. And on my price scale, this will range as a 9. So very good price for the amount of time you're wearing it. Now, I'm going to be totally honest with you. If my hair wasn't growing as fast as it is, or if I just really needed to stretch this out an extra week, I could even, honestly, this style lasts and lasts and lasts. Even the curls. And I'll insert a video clip later, but I washed this hair and the curls look the exact same before washing it, after washing. However, I'm giving it, so that actually takes me into my next rating, which is longevity. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 point being 1 week of wear, I'm rating it as a 3 for 3 weeks of wear. Now, the next thing I'm rating this hair on is maintenance, and I'm giving it a 9 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being there's literally no maintenance. Again, rated as a 9. Now, I'll go through the 10 questions. Each question, if I have to say yes to it, that means there's some type of maintenance involved, and that's a point. I add up those points, subtracted by 10. I know this seems like a lot for a review, but as I've stated before in prior videos, I try to come up with an even playing field to rate the hair that I wear, so that when I'm giving it a score, it's based off of that same repetitive scale. So the first question, does this style take more than 5 minutes to style in the morning? No. Now, next question, does this style require more than 10 minutes to style in the morning? No. Now, unless you're going for some fancy updo look, then it may take you more time. But on a daily basis, if you keep it simple, it does not take you more than 5 or 10 minutes to style. Third question, does this style require at least one product to maintain? No. You do not have to use anything whatsoever on this hair. This hair doesn't frizz, so there's nothing you need to apply to it to prevent the frizz. The only products you would need are products to maintain your natural hair. Fourth question, does this style require 2 or more products to maintain? No. Does this style require securing at night? A large ponytail, twists, braids, etc.? No. Now, you should tie your hair up at night, but if you don't, it will not ruin this style. Next question, does this style require frequent trimming after 3 days? Nope. And especially because I curled the ends. Number 7, does this style require more maintenance every day after getting it wet? No. Do the parts require daily teasing? No. Now, for those of you that have seen looser curl patterns, when I do the illusion method, some mornings, especially if you switch the parts, you will have to refresh it by teasing it. So that's where that question comes in. But for this style, no. Now, you can tease it, and I will insert a clip. You absolutely can, and it will give it a more natural look. However, over time, with you wearing the style, as it's growing out, as your natural hair is growing out from your scalp, it's going to give it that same look anyway. Number 9, does water ruin the style? Does it become more stiff or matted after washing? No. And I am going to insert a clip of me washing this hair. I got it completely wet. will say after getting it wet, it was heavy. It dries very fast. I think in like an hour this hair was dry. So, and then once it's dry, you don't feel the weight. Last question, does this style require trimming after the first day of install? I did say yes to this one. The next thing I rated this hair on was frizz. And obviously it rated a 10 for frizz on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being no frizz. So I have 5 questions for frizz, and for each question that I say yes to, subtract 2 points from 10. So first question, did you have to use any products to control the frizz? No, because there's no frizz. Does the hair tangle? No. Do you have to cut away frizz after 3 days? Nope. Did you have to trim the hair due to tangles or matting? Nope. And after getting the hair wet, did it become more tangled or create seemingly more frizz? No. So overall, I gave this hair a 7.6. We'll round it right up to an 8, which is a pretty good score. All right, well, that brings us to the end of this video. I covered a lot, but I may be missing something. If you have any questions about this hair, definitely check out the install video, because I do talk about like the prep and all of that. But if you have any other questions that I haven't answered in this review, definitely feel free to leave them below. Now, for those of you that are just here for the review, feel free to exit stage left. But for those of you that are interested in some of my book reviews, then keep on watching. The first book that I want to talk about is Cicely Tyson's Just As I Am. Let me pull this. I feel like even if you haven't read this book, you've definitely heard about it. I listened to this book on Audible. You can see the reviews, 4.9 out of 5, reviewed by about 20,000 people. So really popular book. Now, spoiler alert, so if you're listening to this, I'm going to be talking about some things in the book. If you've read it and you know, you're going to know now if you keep watching. So just putting that out there. So some interesting things I learned about her, and in all transparency, I did not finish her book, and I'll get to that in just a second, but I did not know she was Caribbean. Acting was not her dream. She stumbled upon it through modeling. When I started reading the book, it felt like I was reading Viola Davis's biography all over again, which was bittersweet, because the sweet part of it was that in a society where colorism does still exist, not as bad as it did years ago, but it does still exist. Here you have 2 darker skinned women who made it, very successful in their careers. The bitter part is their stories were similar. And I know it seems crazy to say that, but in reading her book, she was molested. She watched her parents abuse each other. She saw her father cheat on her mom. And it's just unfortunate that that is a common story of a lot of African American girls, myself included. You know, that stuff creates generational trauma. And as you get older, some of the things you do, the way you react, all of that comes from your childhood. I think a lot of what she experienced growing up influenced her love life later. And this is why I couldn't finish the book. So later in life, probably about midway in the book, she introduces us to Miles Davis, who she dated, married, and for years, you know, they they had this off and on love interest, and he cheated on her multiple times. He abused her. He was heavy into drugs. I mean, it was crazy the way she admired him even through all that he did. And obviously she knew him in a way that we never did. It sounds like she subjected herself to a lot of the trauma that her mom was subjected to with her dad. And it got to a point where she talked so much about him. It was like page after page after page after page. And every time she talked about him, even though they had good times, a lot of what she talked about with him were bad experiences. It was heartbreaking experiences. And it got to a point where it was just heartbreaking for me to keep reading that. And I felt like at that point I knew enough about her background and her history that I didn't need to read it anymore. I didn't want to keep reading about the abuse, especially because it was abused by the same person over and over and over and over again. And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. The next book that I'm going to talk about is, even though it is a book, it's more like, I guess like a mini encyclopedia. But it is a book of medical discourses by Rebecca Crumpler. To me, Rebecca Crumpler, she's that what's that toy, that little doll that you see little girls playing with, Dr. McStuffins. Rebecca Crumpler was the first African American doctor in the first African American female doctor in the United States. Now, she became a doctor she graduated in 1864 from the New England Female Medical College. She was born in Delaware, so born in the North. And then a year after she graduated, when the Civil War was over in 1865, she moved to Richmond, Virginia, down south, and started her practice. And her practice was dedicated to infants and children, particularly suffering from cholera during that time. A lot of her book talks about different treatments for cholera, so I'm guessing that was a prominent illness during that time. I find it interesting the language that she uses, and I question the intended audience. The average African American could not read this book, could not get their hands on some of the medicines that she talked about in this book, which she does talk about natural remedies. So for example, mothers who were in the nursing phase but couldn't produce milk. She talks about different animals that they could use to get their milk from, but also the diet that that animal should have, whether it be the summer or the winter, to get the best milk to give to their babies. But maybe the audience was for up and coming African American doctors who are going to go into practice, because a lot of these terms I had to Google them. The other thing I found very interesting, married twice, and she had one child of her own, a daughter. But the very first sentence, she starts the book, "At what age should a girl marry?" And she talks about so the age she said was 19 or 20, but she talks about the way in which a woman should be in order to be fit for marriage during this time, like the health of the woman, and what age the man should be. Obviously now in a new day and time, we know that while marriage is a wonderful thing, you most certainly don't have to be married in this day and time to survive and live a happy and thriving life. However, during that time, marriage was seen as honestly survival for economic reasons. and also to have kids. Yeah, I didn't finish it. I feel like I got what I needed out of the book in reading as much as I did. If you've heard of her, comment below. If you have this book, comment below. Oh, one more thing. So I did get this. I got this book off of Amazon. This was about $15, but there is a copy on Amazon for like $1,000. And I'm thinking, what is it about that $1,000 copy? What is it about that copy that makes it so much? So I read in the description and I couldn't figure it out. I feel like this is the same book. Perhaps it's more in that book. I don't know why that book costs so much. All right, well, that brings us to the end of my book reviews. Comment below if you have any recommendations for a good book that I should put on my list. Take care, be blessed, and I will see you in the next one.